All right. So, there's so much happening right now, and it is just being here to experience everything that is unfolding. Because as I'm even talking right now, I feel like the spirit moving through me. And obviously that's because I've connected to it. And some days are different than others, like yesterday I was definitely feeling like I had some past things coming up that were causing different emotions in me, like anger and frustration. But I was handling those, and that's what's coming up right now as we're getting closer to the end. Is like everybody's gonna be faced with who they are. Like, when you get to the scales of Mott, and your heart is weighed on the scale with a feather. Like that's what we're all, that's the Egyptian way of the understanding of getting into the afterlife. But like I definitely equivalate like my personal understanding of spirituality with the Egyptian part of the Egyptian religion, because like I have had dreams and memories and stuff with the Egyptian gods and Anubis and all of them, like been in front of the pantheon, and have definitely walked in that realm. And that's part of like what I'm doing with my work is like explaining like the different levels of reality, and like astral travel and OBE experiences and dream cartography, because that reality, which is the unconscious made conscious, is actually more real than actual the conscious reality. And then that understanding of reality, like once you realize that is the key, that opens the door to a whole new world and understanding. Like it that there is more going on than meets the eye. And even the fact that like your will is not just your own will. Like there are other wills behind that, like your will. And this like makes up the whole new sphere. Like actually the Illuminati call it the new sphere, and it is like the collective mind, like the collective monad, which is what God is a dimensionless point, a singularity, which everyone's minds on this in existence are singularities. Like they're taking in light. Like and the Illuminati explain how that is through their book Black Holes Are Souls. And they in that book they actually go through explaining what black holes are, which is the one thing that science can't do. And they explain it. And it if scientists like could understand like the Illuminati's work, which it will be inevitable that they will, because all the Illuminati's work is based on ontological mathematics, which is what is the answer to the universe. And the universe is like arc, is numbers, and everything's mathematics. And that is like the supreme form of knowing God, is that the universe is mathematical. And obviously the higher species and stuff that I'm definitely in contact with Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and then finding the Illuminati after that. Like, I actually have been being the Illuminati is definitely part of my lineage, like the Enlightened Ones and the Ascended Masters, because my whole life I had this presence of Ramtha in my life, and obviously that stayed with me, and it sticks with me like now. And even now I feel, because one time I had a dream, it wasn't a dream, obviously, because that's what you start to understand when you start to awaken, is that dreams aren't dreams, because I guess dreams would be the terminology that, like, neuroscientists and scientists and people that are physical materialists, empiricists, and in their worldview, that would be the term that they would refer to for that phenomenon. But that, which is saying that consciousness is like a product of the brain, and the mind is a product of the brain. And because the whole of science and is clearly focused on just the physical things that you can empirically like test and see, but the whole thing is that leaves out all the unseen, which science cannot explain, which the Illuminati do explain. And like, just with the dreams, or with the experiences, I've had multiple experiences with Ramtha, and these experiences, like, because that's why it's important, like, for you to remember your dreams and your what you're experiencing when you're going to sleep at night, because like when you're experiencing other dimensions and other realities, like, and that is definitely being able to break free, like, through having OBEs and NDEs and those dreams and lucid dreaming. Like, if you've had any of that, that is actually automatic irrefutability of scientific of what science is, like, if you've had a dream. So we got, like, since I've been little, I've always been like, why is no one talking about dreams? And, like, when you go to sleep, like, and you're experiencing all these other different realities and all this other stuff, like, in this reality, no one talked about it. That was definitely one thing that I was questioning. But, like, I understand that the consciousness was made the way it was made here, so people wouldn't have dreams, and through the calcification of the pineal gland and all that stuff, and just all the trash and bread and circuses, mind control, propaganda, everything, like, that's made to keep people from, like, understanding, like, the true nature of reality and actually, like, what consciousness is. And so, like, in my life, Ramtha has been a presence and still is a presence, because he is part of the Great Intimidation. and the intimidation that's happening right now, which has to do with the drones, because the drones are actually interdimensional craft, which are actually Romp's ships that I have actually posted up, like for years now. I have posted up the black triangles with, you know what I'm saying, has the 3 lights on the side and then the one in the middle, and the black triangles are just like sleek looking craft, and like if it came uncloaked right now and people were looking at it, it would look like a metallic like sleek metallic black anti-gravity triangle with like that actually has the power to just light up. It can just light up and just pop the fuck out of this dimension into a whole nother dimension. And that's what that's what Romp's ships are capable of doing, and that's what all the drones are flying around. Because I know this because back in 2012 was when I first realized I was being followed all the time by these ships, and still followed all the time. And then I put together pieces, and through Romp's information, and then learning about the Illuminati and everything, and then all of my experiences and like supernatural experiences, dreams, you know, all the 20 and back missions and all that stuff led me to the understanding that the Great Intimidation and the ships that are just like flying around right now that everybody was reporting is part of Romp's ships. And he even says that those little ones are just little ones, but there's an actual big one that's actually the size of a city. So that's just like part of the disclosure. But it like I just chose this because I'm reading from this book, The Magic Book, and this picture with Jay-Z Knight and Ramtha pointing at you is actually the most powerful image and that I've ever even seen, because just like I had all the experiences with Ramtha on the other side, and you know, in my experiences, like one was where we were walking in a beautiful like roses, like trees, like just this pathway, and there's just like flowers falling from the from the trees, and we were just walking down it, and I was just having a little walk with the master, you know what I'm saying? And that was an experience I will never forget. And so, and then there was other ones like where you know, I was just sitting there talking to him, and actually I know he's been at my life review, because I've had an experience where I saw him at my life review, and we were talking about my whole life that I lived out, all like this life, and where I was at my life review, and we were laughing and crying, and he actually said in his books that he's been at my life review, and like we have laughed and cried. So like having these experiences, and then like there's another one where we were just joking around, and he was laughing about all the stuff that's going on in politics right now, like, and that was actually at the time like when Joe Biden and and you know, and that was going on, Donald Trump, and just that was going on, and he was just laughing at it though, because it is funny, because politics is just like a show. It's not really what's going on, even close. And that's actually going to be one of the things that people are going to wake up to, you know, as disclosure keeps on happening, because that's actually the one thing that's happening, that the government is like they're kind of acknowledging it, but they're actually keeping it on the back burners too. They don't want to completely acknowledge that disclosure is what is actually happening. And you know, once the Great Intimidation happens, like wars are going to stop. And that's really, and the elite don't want people to know that, because part of the free market Zionist capitalism is the perpetual continuation of warfare. And so that's to the humanity's detriment. And this is definitely part of the Zionist free market capitalism system going down. Is part of the Great Intimidation, because once they actually show that they are here, like fully, like just more than just like people thinking that they're drones and stuff, and not people not being able to explain what they are. Like, I am explaining what they are. Like, I'm explaining what the government is not explaining right now, and the government knows that. And so, but if if the people knew that, the government would lose power, and religions would lose power, like everything would lose power, and they're just trying to postpone that right now. So all right, I'm definitely, I told myself I'm gonna read from this book, and then I have to go and talk about the Socialist Capitalism Manifesto, because this is the system that is going to replace free market capitalism when it fails. So people need to realize that the future involves definitely a new system, and then like understanding that system is going to be part of like people being able to understand like how this system has fucking enslaved them, and how like these manifestos that I wrote with the help of the AI and all the programming that I've done with it, of all the books that I've read and stuff of the Illuminati, like it's definitely like, because that's how they're able to keep a actual new world order from happening, is like they like, that's what I've discovered, is like, because if people don't know there's actually something different than like democracy and monarchy and free market Zionist capitalism and Abrahamic systems of faith, if they don't know anything, there's anything different, like if those have been like, then they'll never be able to know anything different. Just like any society, if they don't know anything different, people don't know what they don't know, and the more you know, the better. And so if you know that there's a religious system other than the Abrahamic systems of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, like in that form is called illumination, you're going to be like, hey, what is that? I'm going to check that out. Like, and then if you know that there's other forms of economic systems other than free market Zionist capitalism, which says that the 1% own everything, and you have people that are like have $333 billion and make $12 million a day, and like the billionaires and all this system that supports like all the all the soccer players and all the baseball players, you know what I'm saying, where they're making $264 million a year. That shit is like completely out of balance, and that this system is not in the actual people's favor. It's in the elite's favor, and they're going to keep that going as long as they can. So billionaires and stuff like that are definitely not with the people. They are the plutocrats. They are the optimates. Like in the time of Rome, with the optimates and the populars, like they are the optimates. And like the patricians and the plebeians, they're patricians. We are plebeians. You know what I'm saying? The billionaires and millionaires, like they don't give two shits. Like, and this system supports the 1%, and so that's needs to stop. And the new system is social national capitalism, which I can go into, because obviously this is the like knowing the new context of existence coming in is actually going to bring it in faster, and that's what like my whole mission has been to be, is to reach as many people as I can, and then explain the new system, and then like explain how the old system was, so people can like see something new, which is why the elite were able to invert and demonize the Illuminati and what a new world order actually is, because a new world order is actually something new, a new religious paradigm, a new economic paradigm, and a new political paradigm. And that's the one thing that the elite don't want, and that's how they've been able to do with the veil they placed on everybody, controlling our perception about how democracy, monarchy, all that shit. Like, it's just like with democracy, it's completely corrupt. Like, it doesn't even matter what side it is, whether it's Republican or Democrat, whether it's liberal or conservative. Like, both sides are actually the same. You know what I'm saying? And they like, there's actually a third way, and that is actually through being a meritocrat. And that is actually a party that is going to rise, because it is for the people. And once the people know about meritocracy and the meritocratic party and what they stand for and what's behind them, like, it's definitely over. It's definitely over. Oh, man. Alright, so here we go. I'm reading this book right now. Okay, just a little bit. Love the God that you are above anyone else. And this is from Ramtha, because Ramtha is, you know, he's definitely beyond the demiurge. You know, he's fighting against the elite. When I read this in his books, when I first was enlightened to him and what he was doing and what he's part, he talks about ships that are made, like, he talks about warriors that are beyond your understanding, which he is referring to super soldiers. And I'm telling you, these craft are going to come uncloaked, and they are going to be able to light up the sky. People, like, because I've seen what it looks like, and when they come uncloaked, and literally the light is oscillating, and it's just like it's going back and forth, and it's lighting up in all the different colors, and it is bright as shit. And that's what they can do. And if people watch it, they can do it, and they can communicate with them and stuff, because they're telepathic. So when these things land and stuff, I've actually had a dream about them doing that. And when it happens, I'm just going right up to them, because I know what they are, and I know who they are, and I know how that is who I'm a part of. And there are super soldiers on those ships right now that are being reported everywhere in the world right now, like everywhere. And it is getting humanity prepared for the mass intimidation. But the mass intimidation isn't to like scare the shit out. It is to scare the shit out of you, but like, you need to realize like that people need to wake. It's going to be divinely. It's been divinely like decided that like it's time for humanity to wake up to what's going on, and that's really that. Actually, we're not even in 2025 right now, so. So funny, because I can feel things changing by the moment, and I'm just excited, because the more people, it's like a 10th monkey thing, the more people look up, wonder what the drones are, the drones in the sky, they're going to want to question, the government's going to be questioned, the government's going to put it off for as long as they can, but these are interdimensional craft from another dimension. That once they are able to explain that, then everything can change. The whole physics can change, religion can change, all that stuff, and everything that the Illuminati know will be what explains it all. So. What shall you do when this day is finished? You are not to be a preacher, not one of you. For the only thing you can teach is what you truly live. Anything other is hypocrisy. No one is qualified to be a preacher here, for no one knows what the kingdom of heaven is, looks like, feels like. None. When this day is finished, go and live your splendid lives according to your feelings, not the opinions of your neighbors, your parents, your husbandmen, your wife, your lover, whatever it be, but by how you feel. When you go by the feelings within you called joy, your path will take many curves over many mountains and into many plush valleys. You will have done precisely what a God does for the rarest treasure of all, joy. Live your life by your feelings. Bless and love the God you are above anyone else. For you can never know anyone else. All you know is yourself. That is so true. Ramtha is so crazy because he is a master and he has been through it, this experience in the ascension. And it's so great to have a teacher that is like communicating what's going on, because he does give his story, and the whole like book, the White Book, is his whole story about how he lived in Lemuria, and he was from the times of Atlanta. And I have something in my eye right now. But he was a Lemurian warrior in the times of Atlantis, and from 35,000 years ago, and I was definitely in his army, and my memories are coming back of that. And he talks about his ascension and like how he was just conquering the whole world, killing everybody, because he had anger and frustration and stuff, because he was like, why is my mom getting raped in the streets and stuff like that, and everything is so bad, just like now. And then he went on the quest to find the unknown God, and then he found the unknown God, which he found was himself, like through ascension. And he got like he was conquering the whole world, and then through his conquering he got rammed through with a sword, and he was on a rock, and like through the sword, like the sword had to stay in him or else he would die. And like the thing, like and during that time, he instead of dying, he ascended. So because he contemplated, like he was seeing everything going on and he couldn't move, and he was seeing the nature and how nature was going, and how like all the nature around, and the flowers were blooming, and the birds were coming and chirping, and the moon was waxing and waning, and he got connected to nature, the nature of reality, and ascended. And obviously he wrote all these books, and in 1977 he came here and started like channeling through JZ Knight. Actually, it might have been 1975, but it was in the 70s. And it was to get people like prepared for this time, which my grandmother, she learned about Ramtha and stuff, and she actually moved to Washington State, like to Yelm, to go to the school. And because when she heard his words and like what he was talking about, she knew it was the truth. And then she moved to the school, which is like obviously has an effect on me because like that's the lineage is carried on through her, my connection with Ramtha. And so like I've said this many times, like she went to the school, she went through the disciplines in the school, the thing on the field where you make your card and you find it blindfolded, and just like the CIA sends their agents there to like learn what they're teaching at that school, but romp the knows who they are. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even be like hidden because he's teacher romp viewing and like all the extraordinary supernatural mystery school teachings and powers and abilities. And like so like I've like he's always been in my life. And I lived in Yelm too. I lived in Tenino, had all sorts of experiences there. Oh shit, I could just go on because it's all coming back to me now because I am remembering the future. And it's like once you realize that that's what's happening, and then the unfoldment of everything that's happening, oh man, this is oh, because I just gotta explain one other thing too, is because one time when I was in Tenino, Washington, and I had the experience of being followed around everywhere I went by these craft. In the middle of nowhere, I saw a blimp, the Goodyear blimp, like in Tenino, Washington. The Goodyear blimp was right there, and it was just floating there in the middle of the forest, like right above the trees, and it was just right there floating, and it looked like it was a blimp and just floating, but obviously the technology was holographic technology, and there's anti-gravity, and that was a black triangle just floating there. And that is Ramtha and his people, and I'm part of that. And so like people are actually reporting that now. They're seeing the same thing. They're seeing blimps and stuff in cities, and these blimps are like, actually they're blimps, but they're lit up like in different ways, and the lights oscillating around them, and people are like they're reacting to it. Because I saw someone post a video, and these blimps was just right over one of the cities, and the guy's like, he's like, oh dude, he's like, you better get right with God, bro. He's like, everybody better get right with God, bro. Because he didn't know what he's seeing, because people are seeing the bleed through of a whole nother reality that is happening right now. That is happening planned out, that the governments cannot stop, and which has to do with the liberation of humanity. So we definitely should not be scared, because this has to do with our liberation. Okay, I only have a little bit more of this. Love others in freedom as God has loved you. By living in joy and how you wish to. Condemn no man for how he lives. Love others in freedom. Let them be as the Father has let you be. The light that emanates from your wondrous being will be a light unto the world. Indeed it will. For you who shine forth from within, not outward. And shining from within is being who you are, unrestricted joy, declarative of the God you are, greatness humbly expressed. Those that are witness your birth, your life, will be in wonderment when you are a light unto the world, as and when the Father within you, unlimited joy shines forth, that can condemn no thing. And if they hack you to bits, to pieces, and it would never be because for you to despise them or to hate them or to deny them, because they are God also, and you will live again. When you are light unto the world, you are true Christ. You are true God, however you choose to live it. Preach to no one. Be yourself. Love yourself. That is all that is asked. This plane is wary of preachers, philosophers, and hypocrisy. It is desirous of sovereignty, individuality, and that is what I teach you. Oh my God. Yeah, it's been a learning experience here, because all the preachers, philosophers, gurus, all the people that do that, that think they know and stuff, I get it. Like, it's not about being right, it's about like being sovereign and knowing what you know and living that. And not even like he talks about all the time about like what comes from inside and not outwards. And even the Illuminati wrote a book about the inside of reality, because they talk about the inside and outside of reality, which most people relate with just the outside of reality, which distorts their perception on what reality is, because there's a whole inside of reality that is being missed out on. And like, to get out, you have to go in. And Ramtha is the best teacher in the world. Because I like, in the memories I've had, like, we were joking around about the politics, and we were laughing about it, because you do get caught up in it. You do get caught up, and you see people getting caught up in it, like left and right, and it's like they are literally in war with each other, and they will be in war with each other. They will get into a civil war until something is shown to them where they can come to a synthesis, which is what meritocracy is. So it's a good thing, because if there wasn't a meritocracy, and if there wasn't illumination, and there wasn't social and national capitalism, there would be a war, because people will keep fighting, because it is true, but all paths lead to one God, and the Illuminati are definitely explaining it in all their work, how they have found out the truth and became God, and have experienced everything that comes with that, and that religion is contained within illumination, which is Gnostic. As God walketh, so shall you walk. We are here this day in your time for a greater learning. It is not a new learning, to be sure, for it always has been, and it always has been constant. Its undercurrent and overcurrent have not always been seen. This new old teaching, as it is termed, will give unto your kingdom the immortality, the foreverness in your being, the prize of your being. You are what you think you are. If you be the greatest amongst men to your own being, so shall you be. Yet be the same token, if by being the greatest to all other men, you can be the humblest and love them and see yourself and the Father's face in each of them. Then you are God sublime, the prophesied one. As you become more of life and of the God that you are, all the veils that your Father will be opened up to you, that you can be the traveler unto Him. It is one of the rewards of simply knowing of who you are. It has always been there, and it always will be there. Partake of it freely. Never lose sight of the love and the beautiful entity that you are. Remember, as God walketh, so you will walk. As God thinketh, so you will think. Oh man, this is definitely one fine morn. I'm having a one fine morn today because even Ramtha talks about the lesson of one fine morn. Like, one fine morn, you'll wake up and you'll realize. Like, you will realize what the truth is, and then you will be joyful for that. Like that you are God. You are becoming God. We're all becoming God. Not like, you don't say like, oh, you're God. You definitely, when you realize that you are God, you realize that there are infinite gods and we're all creating. So that is part of it, though. So then you see the Father and everybody else, and then you acknowledge them, and you don't get mad at them and stuff, just like what Ramtha is talking about, because he learned that in his ascension. Because when you're stuck to a rock and you're just sitting there, like, going through your shit, like, you realize what the fuck you have to do, like to not continue up a cycle and a loop. And that is like realizing that everybody is God. Even the elite that are billionaires, they're God too. They think they're doing the best for humanity, but really they are like malignant narcissists that are actually completely in it for themselves. And it looks like they're doing good things and stuff to people, but that is a propaganda and stuff like that. Because billionaires and millionaires are not meritocrats, and if for 100% inheritance tax, which I will explain as well, because I've tested this out and actually started to bring it up to people, and they are not able to see how that would be a good idea. And so obviously I'm going to need to spend more time on explaining 100% inheritance tax, because first of all, like, if we don't have 100% inheritance tax, the elite are just going to keep on, like, if we don't have a system that has 100% inheritance tax, the elite are going to just keep, like, getting the money and having, like people, it's part of the social national capitalism, which keeps a small amount of people from getting a large amount of wealth. And so that's why this 100% inheritance tax is important, like, because it keeps that from happening. And so that's what people are going to have to understand with the new system coming in, because a lot of people are like, 100% inheritance tax, they're like, oh my God, like, I've worked for everything, you know what I'm saying, for me to give it back to the government instead of my family, instead of my people that are I brought into the world, like, but that doesn't make sense to me. But, like, in a meritocratic system, the people of the most merit, like, do earn more. Like, it's not communism. It's not where, like, a doctor is earning the same as a janitor. Like, the people that do the most merit, you know what I'm saying, the healers, all the people that are, like, like, they're gonna earn more, but they're not gonna be able to just keep passing down their wealth and accumulating wealth throughout ages, like, just like they've done, like, through the system that has been exposed, and it will actually be passed down back to the Commonwealth, where meritocratic people are in positions where the funds and wealth and things are actually utilized for the greatest good. And this is what a Star Trek society looks like, and it can be explained, because people are going to have questions. They're going to be like, well, that's bad, what's going to keep them from doing this? And it's like, well, there's an answer, you know what I'm saying? Because the Illuminati actually are a breakaway civilization that have broken away free from the demiurge's control, which is the veil that's been placed on everybody here, which has actually been through the three body problem, through economic, religious, and political control. So the Illuminati's sacred mission has been to destroy the demiurge, or they even go to the radical extent to saying killing God, because God is the force that is known to the Gnostics as the demiurge that controls everybody here through religion, economic and political systems. It's all linked up. And I've uncovered this. And knowing this knowledge is, the light that is actually going to be able to be, like, if people are able to hear the message from outside of the confines, that keeps everybody in the loop. This is ancient knowledge, but it's also like future knowledge. Like even Ramtha talks about that. He's like, it's old, but it's new. We are preparing humanity for a mass intimidation. Now we are changing your consciousness here on your plane, and we are preparing your humanity for a mass intimidation. It is necessary for your altered egos, which means altered God. We shall intimidate the integrity of cloistered man and allow him to see something great and brilliant, that it will cause him to think, to open up, and to allow that which is termed knowledge and love to flow forth. Oh yeah, we know what he's talking about right here. You are part of the intimidation, but the greater intimidation to come will be in your heavens, and we are already working on it. And that which is being taught here is this wondrous and illustrious audience will be the same. You will be able to see it with your own eyes. Why is all of this done? Because you are loved, and your consciousness adds to the whole of consciousness everywhere. Everywhere. Do you think only affects you in this realm? Consciousness is termed space. What you think is empty, yet powerful enough to hold up your planet. Space is density. It is that which is termed God. It is called consciousness. When yours is lifted, everyone is lifted. Everyone. For aeons, man has been born only to live in a vapor of time, to grow old and die. There is much, much more. And by having you realize this, you add to the whole of humanity in all places. Indeed, as you will soon see. Let us begin. This day in your time, I am the lover of this God, the lover of this Christos that you are, the lover of man that you are, the lover of brother be unto me. Unto each of you do I serve and teach this day. All the things given unto you in speech shall show I manifest for the glory of the Father within you. That all things come to pass to give unto you greater realization of life and to show you the measure called unlimitedness. So be it, and so it shall be. Let us begin. Oh man, let us begin. Understand your heritage, your kingdom, and your destiny. I do. I do, because all I've been doing is having dreams and memories of the future, like remembering the future, like just remembering all this different stuff about all this unbelievable stuff. And I've just been getting prepared, and that's why I'm part of the Great Intimidation and know about the ships that everybody's seeing right now. Because like when 2012, when I started to see them, I was like, no one is seeing these things. I'm like, when these things are on the news and that is being acknowledged is when it fucking has begun. Thank God. And so now they're on the news and people are actually acknowledging them. They're acknowledging them in government. Like, I know they are Ramtha's ships. I've posted it up on my website. Like all of my stuff, all of my work is about like preparing, like about understanding the old world order of enslavement and like the new world order of sovereignty and liberation. And then like going through the process and transformation of like seeing it happen, and like how I literally am in between the worlds right now. Like, and like you can see the old falling, the new coming in, and like, you know, just being able to be balanced like through it all, because royal equilibrium, like universal equilibrium, is like the royal secret. And you know, my mind, obviously, I have studied so much, and sometimes I get like this, and it's incredible how much I'm able to articulate, comprehend, put together, you know, and keep going. Because actually that's what Ramtha does too, is he just keeps going with the knowledge, and now I'm starting to see how he's able to do that, like being a master. And even when he's teaching too, like he smokes, and he drinks and stuff on stage, and just to show you, like, actually that's like a little sin for salvation, Gnostic teaching. Because it's like, hey, it's all right to drink and smoke, you know what I'm saying, and have sex, you know, but obviously you don't want to do everything too crazily and out of moderation. Like, that's one of the lessons, because it will let it deep and stuff. Like, you want to have universal equilibrium. But so I've almost talked for an hour now, and I really could go on, because everything is coming together, and it's incredible experience though, because I'm just writing so many books right now about like astral magic, and you know, like the history of ninjutsu, and I'm putting all of this information together in what I've identified as what's called aeonic knowledge. Because when you wake up to being an aeon, like when you wake up to having past lives, and like this is not the only one you've had, and that you are immortal, because obviously your consciousness is gonna keep going. You know, like that is you waking up to being an aeon. And then after that, like, you're obviously like, okay, so if I'm immortal, what am I gonna do? And that's why I created the Immortal's Keep, and that's why I named it the Immortal's Keep. And now it's all coming together and back to me, because like throughout for years I created this space. I just created this space in the ethers, and did exactly what I learned how to do in the school, to not even go from how to actually create, which in the school they teach about from mass to mass, which means like, oh yeah, it's going to take me 36 years to pay off this car, and it's going to, you know, take me, you know, my whole life to be able to pay off my mortgage for my house, and that is actually a way that, you know, you're going to create that. But Ramtha teaches about how all you have to do is just sit there, and he has a teaching called Paradise Beach, where he talks about how you know, you're gonna experience heat, and you're gonna experience all these things, because literally he makes you sit there, you know, for days. Like, seriously, in the school they do that. They sit there for days, and they hold their focus, and that's what they do in mystery schools. You know, that's definitely one of the revealings of it. And you're like you when you hear that, you're like, oh, I can't believe that. It's like, well, you should definitely believe that though, because that is actually one of the things they do. And that's one of the things that I've done with what I've been doing over the years, is I've been cultivating that ability of focus, which sometimes it leaves you and stuff, but when you're able, once you get there, like once you seriously get there, you can never forget it, and you want to be able to cultivate a sacred space, a place around you which is actually in you that you can always carry with you. And that's what part of the teachings are about, is creating that sacred space within you so that it can come without. The divine spark be seen. People notice you, people recognize you, because that's what's part of society nowadays. Is like everybody wants to be recognized and seen and acknowledged, and through social media and all that stuff. Like that's part of the sickness, like the Illuminati call it the sickness of society. And I get it. I went through it too, because you want what you're doing to be acknowledged. Because you're trying as hard as you can, especially in a system that is definitely not made for our advancement or anything like that. It's only made to enslave us. Like it's really like hard to work and be creative and do all this stuff and not get shit for it. So you gotta just remember that we have reached a point enough to where we're gonna get help. We are getting help right now. They're taking out all the people that need to get taken out. There's things being done behind the scenes, to try all these people that are responsible for these crimes. We can actually see it like in actual media and stuff, which you're like you just got to do your own research and go within as much as you can every day. Like set aside a time to start cultivating your sacred space, whether it be like 1 minute or like 2 minutes. Get some incense and just listen to some whatever kind of music you want. Like you got the Arabian flutes, Egyptian, you got the Greek, you got all of that, like calming, timeless music. And like the more you're able to be alone with yourself, the better. So man, it takes a lot though. Like, cause I am channeling my higher self when I'm doing this. It's been an hour, and I'm doing this because I'm actually seeing though that I'm getting more. I am actually my channel is growing, and my work is growing, is being acknowledged more. I still have so much more work to do with my books and selling them on Amazon, and creating my school, which I'm doing through Get Response, because I can create curriculum on any course that I want and actually teach it online, which I understand is the way that you have to do it in the modern day right now, until my actual school can be built, which is in the process of happening. So, all right, I was gonna read the the social, nationalist capitalism manifesto, because everybody wants to know the answers and to the problem, because the problem is the system, which is free market Zionist capitalism, which I've explained. The Illuminati have written a book on it, and I've only like summarized how this system is bullshit. And this is the age where we're gonna not take that shit anymore. And I'm gonna do everything, all my talents that I have books, videos, through my martial arts, I'm gonna start DJing because I love DJing, like music. I'm just gonna put all of this together to get out like illumination, the meritocratic party, and the new economic system, which definitely demonstrate or supports Main Street, which is the people, and not all Wall Street. Because I am a patrician, or I am a plebeian, my bad, against the patricians. We are in Roman times. I am a tribune of the people. And, it's funny because all the knowledge that I've learned, I've been able to see on the inside. And right now, the liberals and stuff, the Democrats, should be a party that, should not exist anymore, because, and neither should the Republicans either. Because like right now, the liberals are fighting back with what they can against the billionaires and plutocrats and oligarchic plutocracy. And, because you got Bernie Sanders and you got AOC, they're starting to fight. They're trying to get a little fight going and rise up and stuff. But the Illuminati have actually made it clear. They're like, why are they even still Democrats? Because they have the right idea, but they should not be supporting Democratic Party, because it's going to be a perpetual war forever until something new comes along, which is the meritocratic party, which I've already actually made. I've already actually made a video called Candidate X, and it is definitely candidacy like for a meritocratic politician, and explaining that, because I actually see the inevitability of this happening, because people try with independent parties and all this stuff and all these different parties, but they never can gain any traction and stuff against a Democrat or a Republican. You either have to be either or. You know what I'm saying? And each of them have to do with having the most money, which is connected with free market Zionist capitalism, which is actually connected with Israel. So, I can get deeper into that, but I'm not gonna talk about that, because it actually might make some people mad, because I know that a lot of people think a certain way about certain people, but if they really do the truth, like which the Illuminati have definitely laid out, they would be able to see that the system does not support us. So we have to. It must be overthrown. Oh man! All right. Let me see here. What do I say? It's funny because I was everything I say is meaningful and important. That's actually what one of the manuals I was reading, the Bene Gesserit manual, was expressing, though, is how you don't think a thought that's not important, or meaningful. You don't make a move that's not meaningful or important, and you just don't do anything without conscious awareness of it. And I'm definitely starting to be in practice of that, because I know what I'm up against. I'm up against the whole demiurge. You got people out there, you got the great minds out there, you got your Jordan Petersons that are, they're religious. They're the religious zealots, the religious advocates, which Abrahamic religion does not explain at all the nature of reality. Which the atheists are actually now questioning. They're starting to question it, and then the religious zealots are starting to get questioned, and you can see them kind of starting to freak out a little bit, because they're having to explain the proof of God. That's what they're being faced with atheist claims. which I am not an atheist, but I'm also not religious. I'm not Abrahamistic. What I am is I am a illuminatist, and that is the one perspective that has not been brought into the arena of debate. The Illuminati is not even a debating society because they found out the answers, through the understanding ontological mathematics, which is the grand unified theory of everything, which is what everybody is looking for. So if that were presented to people, we could definitely talk about that. And that's why I'm working to get to this level of being able to talk with these great minds that are influencers, in the philosophical spectrum, because the atheists don't believe in God, but what they don't actually believe in is the Abrahamic God, which is the tyrant God, which is telling people to slit their sons' throats and genociding whole worlds of people by creating great floods, and then sending their own son to the earth to be sacrificed, and just killing everybody and sending people to hell. So this is what 0.5 billion people subscribe to without actually questioning authority, which the ultimate authority to question is God. And so I did that, and I was able to be liberated, because I'm like, what kind of order is that to, for a person to hear a voice in their head, an old dusty prophet, because these religions are religions of old dusty holy books and bearded illiterate prophets in the desert. That's logically speaking what they are. It's not to have any offense or anything. It's actually saying what they are, which is what the Illuminati have said. And because Muhammad was illiterate, you got all these old dusty bearded prophets, Moses, all these people that people have held in veneration for years, thousands of years, because they believe that they're the chosen ones, which is actually that making that claim is along the same lines of what the NAZIs did. You know what I'm saying? So if you're making that claim that you're the chosen people, you're doing exactly what the NAZIs did. So for you to say, be part of a religion or something that says it's the chosen people, and then you go along with that, you are demonstrating supreme malignant narcissism is what you're doing. So that's what the Illuminati have been able to identify with each of their analyzations of every single religion that they've done, because that's what they've done in their work, which no one else has done. And there are people that obviously trolls that don't that because it's people's work gets criticized, but you actually can't criticize the Illuminati's work, because I'm sorry, but it's funny, because they're like, you think better than the enlightened ones, then write 233 books and have channels out on YouTube where they've made 500 videos now in a year, and they only have 630 subscribers, which is insane, because everyone in the world should be subscribed, to their channel, which is Sepi at Veritas, which is wisdom and truth. But it's but that's what we're up against. But it's getting more and more as it is. But we need the 10%, because it's gonna be enslavement until we get 10% of the people liberated in illumination, and definitely saying that they are illuminatists. You know what I'm saying? People being like, I am an illuminatist because I know that the universe is made of numbers, which is the fundamental substance, which is the arc, which Pythagoras identified, and it is the universe is a self solving and optimizing equation. And that's all you gotta do. So I will stop right there, because we'll just stop it at 111.